What's up guys, CTV Productionz here, and today I have my first episode of my brand new Manchester United career mode. As you can see, I'm just putting in all the details, putting my name and everything, and putting us in the Europa League. Difficulty is legendary, so it's going to be quite a difficult career. It's the hardest difficulty it can actually be put in. As you can see, we go into the Asian Elite Cup, which is a £9 million trophy, which I suppose money's money, isn't it? And everything can go towards transfers. As you can see, I've just put a couple of transfers on the screen that I'm thinking about doing. A couple of old Manchester United faces I wanted to bring back for one more run. A couple new transfers, and as you can see here, we're going in for Manchester United's new signing, Romelu Lukaku, for I think it was a £45 million bid. We also quickly have a look at Lindelof, because obviously Manchester United have signed him in the real world, which means that I want to sign him as well. I think I put a £12 million bid in. I didn't really know how much to bid for him, considering he's not really someone I normally go for, but considering Manchester United have bought him, I decided to. As you can see as well, I'm putting everybody in training, putting Luke Shaw on too, because he needs work. He's not exactly a strong left back. Also had a failed inquiry about Vieira. He's only just moved, so maybe looking at him next season. As you can see, the targets from the board. They want brand exposure, that's shirt sales and stuff. They want success in the league and success in the cup, which is undoubtedly what we can do. Also, the Lukaku bid came back. Everton weren't having it, so I had to put in I think it was a £55 million bid in, and Lindelof also I couldn't sign, so I had to increase my bid as well. And as you can see, our first match is against Bayern Munich, which isn't exactly what you want to come up against in your first match, but as you can see, it only took, well, I say only, but it took 43 minutes for us to actually break down, and it's a Pogba goal. It was a Rabona nutmeg as well, which was pretty special. There was no need for it. He could have just blasted it into the top of the net, but it's Pogba, isn't it? I suppose if he wants to do that, he can. And it shows a very promising start for us. As you can see here, the game capture was messing up because I had it on the wrong settings. I only noticed this whilst editing, and yeah, I'm sorry about that. It will be fixed by next episode. I have pre-recorded the next episode, so I have fixed that, so it should all be good. And as you can see, we again go on the attack, and again, they just seem to break us down really easily in defence. Which I know we're 1-0 up and we don't really need to be attacking here, but it just seemed like there was a lot of lacklustre attack, and it felt like a lot of it was broken down easily. And if we're going to be beating these big teams in future seasons and future matches, we're going to have to start scoring more goals. And the first one was lucky, and this one was quite lucky as well. It was just a Pogba long shot. I mean, it was a really good shot, but say Pogba gets injured, there's not really much we're looking for in attack. There's no creativity really apart from Pogba and Mkhitaryan. So that's why I wanted to bring in Lukaku, and I wanted to bring in people like that. That's why I need these big signings, so we can actually challenge in the league, because Bayern Munich are a lot like, they're not, obviously Manchester City and Chelsea aren't as good, and like Liverpool aren't as good as Bayern Munich, because Bayern Munich are one of the biggest clubs in the world, but it's the same calibre of team, if that makes sense. It's not like, there's not a world of difference between them. And as you can see, I'm just putting him back in training. Luke Shaw again on 2 sessions because he needs to improve. And we get 2 transfer requests. One's from Chris Smalling, and yeah, I'm not letting him go. Even if he's going to be back up to Lindelof, I need him in the squad. Also Darmian, which I think I counted for 12 million. I don't mind getting rid of Darmian. It's not like it's a big loss for us. We have Luke Shaw. We can bring in better left backs for half the price. Also, you can see that Benfica did accept another bid, so I had to put in a £20 million bid. Obviously, it's overspending for a player of his quality, but he can improve and he can double in value in a couple seasons. So I had to put in such a increased amount just so we can try and sign him. As you can see, also I'm moving in the team. I'm moving the wingers in. I'm moving Mkhitaryan and Martial in, so they don't get isolated, because I felt like they weren't producing enough in that Juventus game. And also I moved back Fellaini so that he wasn't getting into attacking positions, because every time he touched the ball I felt like I was losing it. And as you can see, the game was absolutely boring. It took till the 70th minute for them to actually score, and it was inevitable. They were dominating us, I'm not going to lie to you. We're just not good enough to come up against a basically a full strength Juventus side, which I wasn't really expecting, but considering Bayern Munich didn't have their strongest team out and it's pre-season, but fair enough to them, they scored, and as you can see, we do lose 1-0, and we're not out the cup yet. We still have another match against I think it's something Victory anyway, which we are going to sim, and you can see that Lukaku did actually accept it. Everton accepted, and we offered Lukaku a contract. I believe it was 160,000 a week. We also offered Lindelof a contract, and Mata. We got an offer for Mata, which was a £31 million bid, and I did counter that to 39 because I believe he is 20. He's 28, going on 29. So it's like we can build our younger squad without him. He's not exactly Pogba. He's not exactly our key player, and we do beat that team 4-0 on sim. Mkhitaryan with 2, Pogba with 1, and Ibra with a goal, which does show on sim we are. I know they're not as good as Premier League teams, but we can beat, maybe in the FA Cup and stuff like that. We can sim. You can see again training the players, trying to just increase the ability of the weaker players like Luke Shaw, just so we're ready for the big teams in the Premier League, and we're ready for the start of the season. And as you can see, we have to let Mata go because they accepted the deal, the counter offer, and we signed Lindelof. He accepts the contract, so does Lukaku. We gave him what we're asking for because it's not exactly like we're losing money. And also a Wayne Rooney bid came in and we countered that. Anyway, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next episode.